How boys became eunuchs. Spoiler alert, not by choice. Let's start with the basics. How do you make a eunuch? No, seriously. How did it happen? First of all, this was not a career path. No little boy ever said, "When I grow up, I want to be a royal diaper changer with lifelong trauma." Becoming a eunuch wasn't something you planned for. It was something that happened to you while you were too young to spell the word regret. There were three main sources of fresh recruits. The first was war. If your kingdom got invaded and you were a young boy with the misfortune of being healthy and symmetrical, congratulations. You were now a prisoner of war with a very unfortunate future. The second source was poverty. Desperate families would sell their sons into slavery, and the buyers often wanted to increase the value of their product. And the third method, straight-up kidnapping. In some regions, gangs would snatch kids off the street and hand them over to black market surgeons who specialized in body edits of the worst kind. Imagine organ trafficking, but with extra steps and no anesthesia. Once acquired, the real fun began. The cutting. There were two options and neither was great. In one method, they removed just the essentials. In the other, they took everything, fully cleared out, like the Amazon returns warehouse of anatomy. This was done using knives, scissors, glass shards, or whatever sharp thing was lying around. Sanitation was not on the checklist. There were no hospitals, no recovery rooms, no medical charts. Just a small room, a big bowl, and lots of screaming. If the boy survived and many didn't, he'd be given a new name, a new job, and a new life where he was expected to forget everything that just happened. No therapy, no support group, just a pat on the back and a fresh uniform. And the best part, this was all completely legal. Sometimes even government-sponsored. In certain empires, the demand for eunuchs was so high that they set quotas. Imagine being a tax collector and also responsible for delivering 5 eunuchs a month. That's the kind of job that makes you rethink your career choices. In China, for example, there was a whole underground pipeline of boy acquisition and transformation. Eunuchs were needed for the imperial palace, and the supply chain never stopped. The Forbidden City didn't build itself, and someone had to clean the emperor's toenails. The Ottoman Empire took a different approach. They imported boys from Africa or the Balkans and ran entire training camps to turn them into elite servants. Picture Hogwarts, but with trauma instead of magic. And then there's the Roman Empire. Romans were big fans of eunuchs for their drama and political value. They didn't always make their own. They often just bought them from other places. Because nothing says empire like outsourcing your human rights violations. So why go through all this? Why were people willing to mutilate children just to get a specific kind of servant? Because eunuchs were the ultimate security measure. They couldn't father illegitimate heirs. They couldn't have their own families. They weren't seen as threats. You could trust them to guard the royal bedroom without getting any funny ideas. Also, their voices didn't drop, so some of them were trained to sing. That's right. Some eunuchs were walking Spotify playlists that had to survive surgery first. The cruel irony was that the worse the procedure, the more valuable the eunuch. If everything was removed and the poor kid lived, jackpot. That was considered a deluxe edition, worth more money, more status, more access to power. So yeah, welcome to the chop shop. A place where ambition met anatomy and childhood dreams were replaced with cold floors and sharp objects.